I found a terrified dog running loose. Then I discovered the tag and a frantic phone call happened. I need to confess something small but meaningful that happened to me recently. I walk to work most days. It is good exercise, and I like to listen to music. One morning last week, I noticed a small dog running loose near a busy intersection. I felt concerned it would get hit by a car, so I tried to coax it over to me. The dog was scared and skittish at first, but after a few minutes of gentle talking and offering it a piece of my granola bar, it cautiously approached. I carried the dog away from the immediate danger of the road. I felt its heart beating fast against my chest. I wondered where it had come from and how long it had been wandering. The park was a better spot to figure things out. There were some benches and a little more space to move around. I set the dog down gently on the grass. It stayed close to my feet, still seeming nervous. I checked its collar for a tag with contact information. Unfortunately, the collar only had a decorative nameplate with a generic dog-themed design. I decided to call animal control to report that I had found a lost dog. I described the dog and its location to the person on the phone. They said they would send someone to pick it up, but it might take a few hours. I told them I would stay with the dog until they arrived. I sat on a bench and watched the dog explore the small patch of grass. It seemed to be calming down a little bit. I still hoped the owner would appear soon. It would be easier for the dog if it could go straight home instead of going to a shelter. I managed to get the dog to come close enough to me that I could pick it up. I held it securely in my arms, trying to calm its trembling body. It was a small, fluffy thing, probably a Pomeranian mix. I looked around to see if I could spot its owner, but there was no one in sight who seemed to be searching for a lost dog. The intersection was getting busier, and I did not want to hold up traffic or risk the dog jumping out of my arms and running into the street. I decided to move to the sidewalk near a small park a block away. I figured it would be a safer place to wait and hopefully the owner would come looking. I sat on a bench in the park with the dog on my lap, stroking its fur. It seemed to be calming down a little, but it was still panting and nervous. I kept looking around, hoping to see someone who looked like they were searching for a lost pet. I was glad I had decided to help the little dog. I knew I would be so upset if my own pet got loose. It would be awful not knowing where it was or if it was safe. I checked for a collar, and it had one with a tag. The tag had a phone number. I called the number, and a woman answered. She sounded frantic. She told me her dog had slipped out of its leash during their morning walk. She was so worried. I told her I had her dog and where I was located. She said she would be there as soon as possible. While we waited, I petted the dog and reassured it. I could tell it was still scared. I am not usually a dog person. I prefer cats. However, this little dog was growing on me. It was a small terrier mix, and it had big, brown eyes. I wondered how anyone could lose such a sweet creature. I checked the dog's collar again for a name or phone number. I saw a tag with the dog's name and a phone number I had missed before. I felt stupid for not noticing it sooner. I dialed the number. A woman answered on the second ring. I told her I had found a dog matching the description on the tag. I described the location where I found the dog. She started crying on the phone. She said she would be there as quickly as possible. She asked me to please stay with the dog until she arrived. I assured her I would wait with the dog. I ended the call and continued to pet the dog. The dog seemed calmer now. I thought about my own cat at home. I wondered if my cat would miss me if I was gone. I realized how much pets mean to people. They provide comfort and companionship. I understood why the woman on the phone was so upset. Losing a pet is like losing a member of the family. I waited patiently, watching for her car to arrive. I felt good knowing I was helping reunite her with her dog. The woman arrived about 15 minutes later. She parked her car quickly and ran towards us. When she saw the dog, her face lit up. She knelt down and hugged it tightly. She was crying. She thanked me repeatedly for finding her dog. She said the dog was her best friend, and she did not know what she would do if something happened to it. I felt happy that I could help. I understood how much she loved her dog. Even though I am not a dog person, I have a cat that I adore. I would be devastated if I lost my cat. I told her I was glad I was in the right place at the right time. I thought about how I would feel in her situation. Losing a pet would be awful. My cat means the world to me. I felt good that I was able to make a difference for her. She was so relieved to have her dog back. I could tell the dog was happy too. It ran right to her and started licking her face. The dog was wagging its tail. It was jumping up and down. I watched them for a minute. I smiled. I petted the dog before I left. She kept thanking me. She seemed genuinely grateful. I told her again that it was not a problem. I would hope someone would do the same for me. She said she felt like she owed me something. She wanted to show her appreciation. I almost said no to her offer. I did not want her to feel obligated. I decided to accept her offer of coffee. It felt like the right thing to do. I figured a coffee would be nice. The woman asked if there was anything she could do to repay me. I told her it was no problem. Just seeing her reunited with her dog was enough. She insisted on doing something. She asked if I liked coffee. I said I did. She offered to buy me a coffee at the cafe down the street. I accepted. We walked to the cafe together, with the dog trotting happily beside us. We ordered our coffees and sat at a table outside. We started talking, and I learned that the woman's name was Sarah. She told me she had recently moved to the city. She did not know many people. She said the dog helped her feel less lonely. I listened to Sarah talk about her old home. She described a small town. Everyone there knew each other. She missed that sense of community. I understood what she meant. It can be hard to meet people in a big city. Everyone seems to be in their own world. I told her I grew up in a suburb. It was not a small town, but it was not a city either. I knew most of the people on my block when I was growing up. I do not even know my neighbors now. Sarah seemed interested in what I had to say. She asked me about my hobbies. I admitted I did not have many hobbies. I mostly read or watch television after work. She suggested I join a book club. She said it could be a good way to meet people. I thought that was a good idea. I told her I would look into it. We continued to talk for another hour. It was nice to connect with someone new. I told her about myself, too. I mentioned that I worked as a librarian. I also said I had been feeling a bit isolated lately. I have been focusing on my career. I have not made much time for socializing. We talked for almost an hour. We discovered we had a lot in common. We both liked reading, hiking, and trying new restaurants. We exchanged phone numbers and promised to stay in touch. Before we left, Sarah thanked me again for finding her dog. She said she felt like it was fate that we met. I thought about our conversation on the drive home. It felt nice to connect with someone new. I realized I had been isolating myself since moving to the city. Making friends as an adult is harder than I thought it would be. I usually just go to work and then go home. I hoped Sarah would actually reach out. Some people say they will stay in touch, but they never do. I decided I would send her a text in a few days if I did not hear from her. I wanted to suggest we try that new Italian place downtown. The next morning, I woke up feeling refreshed. I think talking to Sarah helped lift my spirits. I had been feeling down about my job and the lack of social life. I made myself a good breakfast and listened to some upbeat music. I actually looked forward to going to work. It was a beautiful day, too. The sun was shining, and the birds were singing. It was a welcome change from the gloomy weather we had been having. I decided to walk to work instead of taking the bus. I walked to work feeling much lighter than I had in weeks. I had not only helped someone in need, but I had also made a new friend. It was a small miracle, really, all because of a lost dog. Since then, Sarah and I have been meeting for coffee regularly. We have gone on a few hikes together. We even tried a new Thai restaurant last week. I am starting to feel less isolated and more connected to my community. I am grateful for the chance encounter with the lost dog and the friendship that blossomed from it. It reminded me that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can have the biggest impact on our lives. It also reminded me that you can find friendship in the most unexpected places. I am no longer just a librarian going through the motions. I am a person with a friend, with a growing social life, with a renewed sense of purpose. Sarah has also introduced me to some of her other friends. We all went bowling last weekend. I have not bowled in years. I am terrible at it. Everyone was very supportive and laughed a lot. I even managed to knock down a few pins. I am glad I went. I met some interesting people and expanded my social circle even further. I am starting to feel like I am part of something bigger than myself. This is something I have not felt since I moved here. I am volunteering at a local animal shelter now too. It is a good way to give back to the community. It also helps me spend more time around animals. The animal shelter is full of dogs that need homes. I spend a lot of time walking them and playing with them. I have learned a lot about different breeds and their temperaments. I am learning about the commitment that dog ownership requires. I realize I would need to adjust my schedule to properly care for a dog. I would need to make sure I have enough time to walk it, feed it, and play with it. It is a big decision, but I am seriously considering it. I am thinking about adopting a senior dog. They often get overlooked, and they need love too. I am also considering getting a dog myself. Sarah's dog is so sweet. It has opened my eyes to the joys of dog ownership. I am not sure if I am ready for the responsibility yet. I am doing research and thinking about it seriously. If I do get a dog, I will be sure to thank Sarah. She indirectly changed my life in a positive way. It is funny how things work out sometimes. A lost dog, a kind stranger, a shared cup of coffee, and a new friendship. It is a reminder that there is still good in the world. I am thankful for this small miracle. It has made me a happier and more hopeful person. I wanted to share this because sometimes we all need to hear a story about something good. I never expected any of this to happen. I usually just go to work and come home. I do not often stop to help people. I am often in a rush. That day, I almost did not stop either. I was already running late for a meeting, but I saw the dog in the road, and I knew I could not leave it there. It looked scared and confused. I pulled over and tried to coax it to me. It took a few minutes, but eventually, it came. I checked for a tag, but there wasn't one. I decided to take it with me and figure things out later. I put the dog in my car and drove to the coffee shop. I knew they allowed animals and I needed coffee anyway. I met the dog's owner there. She was very grateful that I had stopped to help. We talked for a while and discovered we have a lot in common. We exchanged numbers and made plans to get together again. I realized then that stopping to help the dog was not just about helping the dog. It was about opening myself up to new possibilities. It was about connecting with another person. It was about experiencing something unexpected and positive. It made me think about how often I miss opportunities like that because I am too focused on my own schedule. It makes me wonder about all the other small miracles happening around us every day that we do not even notice. Maybe there is someone out there who needs a little bit of help, a little bit of kindness, or a little bit of friendship. Maybe we can all be a part of someone else's small miracle. I think I will start paying more attention to the world around me. I will look for opportunities to spread kindness and make a difference, no matter how small. Because sometimes, the smallest things can make the biggest difference. I am glad I stopped that morning and helped the dog. It was the best decision I have made in a long time. I also realized that I was being too focused on my work. I forgot how important it is to have friends and social connections. I am making a conscious effort to prioritize my relationships and spend more time with the people I care about. I am joining a book club. I am volunteering at a local animal shelter. I am saying yes to invitations more often. I am making an effort to be more open and approachable. These small steps seem to be helping me feel more connected. I went to the first book club meeting last week. I felt nervous, but everyone was friendly. We discussed the book, and I even shared my opinion. It was nice to hear different perspectives. I petted some dogs at the animal shelter. They needed attention and it felt good to give it. I also had coffee with a coworker I usually only exchange emails with. We talked about things other than work. It turns out we have a lot in common. I am trying to keep the momentum going. I am starting to feel like myself again. I even went to a concert with Sarah last weekend. We had a lot of fun singing along to the music. I learned that she also volunteers at the animal shelter. We are planning to go together next week. It is comforting to have someone to share these experiences with. I think this friendship will be good for both of us. I am starting to believe that things really are getting better. I am not sure what the future holds. I am excited to see where this new friendship with Sarah will lead. I am hopeful that I will continue to make positive changes in my life. I am grateful for the small miracle of the lost dog. It has reminded me of the importance of kindness, connection, and community. I will never forget the day I found that dog. It was a turning point in my life. I am a better person because of it. I am more grateful for the simple things in life. I am more aware of the needs of others. I am more open to new experiences. And I am more hopeful about the future. All thanks to a little lost dog and a chance encounter.